we're all shaped by the experiences we have. You know, if you have a belief about yourself, it's always because
born in 92 on the block with the Sharks, come from a different cloth, y'all would get ripped apart. You want it diamond, then you gotta get it in the dark. We dropping nuggets like Carmelo went to Rucker Park. Now we eating from state to state, we scrape the plate. I put my eggs in a basket, took a leap of faith. I took a chance, now we grow and see the impact. Decoding Success with special guests, now let's bring Matt.
Haley, what was the moment you realized you needed to start taking control of your mind?
Okay, so starting in 2019, let's set the scene. I had quit my job. I was working for a startup. And I quit my job to go all in on myself, on my personal brand. I was doing motivational speaking at that time. And basically right after I quit my job, everything that I had momentum with completely halted. Like I was booking all these schools to speak at. I was having all these like other freelance opportunities come in. So like I'd quit my job thinking, oh, for sure, like I'm going to be okay. But there was clearly some self-doubt that got triggered when I quit the job and was like, oh, I'm doing this. And basically right after that, everything turned to crickets. Like I wasn't hearing back from schools anymore. It was also, I thought it was a timing issue. Like I was speaking primarily at colleges and then it was about to go into summer. So colleges like weren't in session anymore. And I was literally in a panic and I was like, what have I done? Should I not have quit? Should I like look for a corporate job? But I knew that I really, really, really wanted to do my own thing and pursue my own path. And that I had really big dreams specifically around like being in the entertainment industry, being on camera, music, etc. And that's when I was like, okay, we got to figure out why I'm so blocked and turn around my mindset once and for all. And I'd always been into like manifestation and mindset and all of that, but that was like, okay, no, this needs to become like a way of life. Like I need to lock in.
Yeah. Do you feel like self-doubt is something that we pick up, or is it something that's casted upon us by other people, maybe like conditioning, parents, friends, experiences, so on and so forth?
Such a good question. I think it's a combination of both. I'm really into the subconscious mind. I think it's really fascinating. And the whole concept is that our subconscious minds pick up everything that is ever happening around us. It picks up things that are just like loose interpretations of what's happening around us. And from the ages of 0 to 7, so like when we're born up until age 7, we're operating in a lower brainwave state, meaning that we're basically in a hypnotic state. So that means everything that's said around us, everything that's done around us or not done, we literally take on as truth because we're kids. Like we can't question it. It's not, you know, if somebody says something to us, we're not like, well, let me use my critical reasoning skills. Like, could that be true? Right. So there's so much programming in those early ages that then kind of determines the foundation for everything that happens afterwards. And we're all shaped by the experiences we have. You know, if you have a belief about yourself, it's always because there was some evidence that you received when you were growing up from anything. It could be from your parents, from society, from teachers, from kids at school, from these things that happen that your brain has been like, oh, that's actually super useful because I need to hold on to that evidence because it's something that happened to me and therefore it must be true. And I need to use that to inform my self-perception and my experiences moving forward. So self-doubt is really just, there was some initial experience, likely a lot of them, we all had them in various forms that made us think, oh, maybe I'm not worth it. Or maybe I can't do this. And the brain always has evidence for this. The evidence might suck. The evidence might, to a rational adult mind, be like, wait, that was like a misunderstanding or that was kindergarten. But if the subconscious mind has internalized it, then it will keep playing that out over and over again because it's trying to keep us safe.
So even if what we pick up on is totally false, the brain...
Yeah.
So in other words, you're telling us we're fucked unless we do...
No, not at all.
Okay.
But I do think the self-awareness piece is so huge because a lot of us fall into these limiting beliefs that just keep getting regurgitated over and over again. And such a powerful question to snap us out of that is just like, well, what would you rather believe? Like whatever it is, if it's like self-doubt, if it's your self-perception, what would you rather believe? And then, of course, it becomes an evidence game to your subconscious mind. Yeah. Well, I can't believe the new thing, even though, of course, I'd rather believe that because I don't have evidence yet. And that's where we can do things like EFT tapping, my favorite, to clear the emotion.
I see you doing that stuff
all the time. It's my obsession for good reason. It's literally my hack for my entire life. And then
talk to me about that. I'm curious. I'm sorry for cutting you off there, but like EFT tapping, there's, from what I've read, like there's not so much statistical or like evidence-based stuff that backs it up, but I know so many people that do it. I've not dabbled with it enough to sit here and like have my own reasoning for it, but like, what do you feel like EFT has done for you?
Well, actually, have been a lot of studies, especially since 2019, a growing body of research that shows just how effective it is. I talk about a lot of that in my book, You Have the Magic Behind Me, and quote those studies, specifically for things like PTSD, anxiety, depression, food cravings. And there's some incredible statistics about how much EFT tapping can help literally over just like one 60-minute session, even in biomarkers of like actual health that they've been studying. So the research behind it is actually extremely exciting. And I know that they'll continue to do a lot of research on it, and people are getting huge shifts. For me, tapping came into my life in 2019 when I really needed to change my mindset. I started working with a practitioner who I've been working with ever since. I adore her. Her name's Tiffany Jeffers, and it's amazing. You basically, in tapping, go back to a memory. So going back to the self-doubt thing, maybe a memory speaking up from a time in the past that something hurtful happened. And when we tap, it's basically like emotional acupuncture. So this is based in Chinese medicine. So the meridian points of the body, in the same way you would go to an acupuncturist and once again stimulate the flow of energy, we can get emotions literally stuck and energy stuck in our bodies, especially around painful past memories, so that, you know, if something might have happened so long ago, you don't feel impacted by it anymore. But if you're reminded of like your first heartbreak and you think about it long enough, you can literally feel the pain again.
Right.
It's blocked in your body. It's your body's holding on to it because it's like, I need to hold on to this pain in order to stay safe and make sure that never happens to me again. So with tapping, we can go back into those memories. We tap. So I do faster EFT, which is front of the eyebrow, side of the eye, underneath the eye, and the collarbone, and then you squeeze your wrist. And this completely lessens the emotional resonance, so that through the rounds of tapping, as you go back and check it and check the emotion, it goes down, goes down, goes down, goes down, and then you'll just feel peace.
Do you do that for 60 minutes straight?
So in 60-minute tapping sessions, or in my Dream Away membership, we do 90. A lot of that is subconscious breakthrough questions first to understand like where's the evidence that my brain has been building this upon? What bad thing would happen if I release it? Like really understanding why the body and the subconscious mind have held on to it for so long. And then the rounds of tapping themselves are probably only a minute long, but in between rounds of tapping, we do what are called pattern interrupts, which is where we move the brain off of whatever it was just thinking about. So in Dream Away, I try to make this as fun and silly as possible. So we'll get up and we'll dance. I'll like interrupt people and I'll be like, wait, what's 6 times 97? And it like confuses everybody. Cause like when you're in the emotion, I'm like, no worry, no one needs to figure that out. It's fine. I don't know personally, but like you pull the person's attention off the neural pathway, and that actually signals to the brain, oh wait, maybe this is not as relevant as I think it is. And then when you go back and check it, it's like, wait, where am I? Where is it? Because as you know, like when we're worried about something, when we're sad about something, we tend to ruminate because our brain's like, oh, I need to like focus on this. So there's all these little things we do in a longer round of tapping that actually helps to rewire the brain. One of which is also visualization. So like, what would you rather believe? Again, that question, can we make up mind movies? Can we flood the body with really good emotions by thinking about like your favorite memory from childhood, a hug with somebody you love, cute fuzzy animal, or 17 of them all around you, like giving you kisses, like just really happy things that literally help to rewire the brain and change our perception of things that have happened to us, and therefore our self-concept moving forward. Yeah.
Have you done fascial maneuvers?
No, what's that?
Ooh, you would like that. Fascial maneuvers. There's a gentleman, his name's Gary Lineman. He has a company called Human Garage. And it's a nonprofit. Like they are not looking for money or anything, but I'll send it to you on YouTube. It's fantastic. Okay. We've had him on the show, and he made me do them like as we were sitting here, and it's literally just like hugging yourself and moving particular ways. And you feel, depending on what you're doing or like the type of movement, you either feel like super energized or like you just took a Xanax, which I've never done before. But like you just feel like super, super chilled out. And it's exactly what you're saying too, just like the releasing of the stored emotion. Yeah. And it was really impressive. I actually try to do it every night. I'm not the most consistent with it, but like right before bed, it just totally mellows you out. You let go of the entire day. Like I can find myself like this sitting at my desk, and in just 15 minutes of that practice, you're zonked.
Wow. Like, okay. Completely. I got to try this.
Yeah. I'll send it to you. I love that.
I want to
Hey, I want to go back because you shared something like the 2019 version of Haley, I'm really curious, do you ever feel like God, the universe, whatever anyone believes in, do you ever feel like you are given an opportunity or opportunities to test the waters even before you're ready for them? So for example, you were like, hey, like I was going out speaking, but you also had that self-doubt popping up, right? So like, do you ever feel like you're given opportunities a little bit too soon, or maybe they are right on time? And I don't know, it's just something that I've personally experienced where very similar. 2019 for me, I was speaking all this stuff and then I had all these opportunities. I'm like, wait, like this is not the right time for this, right?
Yeah. Mine was kind of an interesting variation because I thought I wanted to be a speaker at that time, but honestly, I was kind of doing it because I thought it looked good on paper. To be like, oh, because I spoke at like most of the Ivy Leagues, and I was like, it was from a place of honestly lower self-worth and trying to prove something. And my intention was completely there in terms of like when I was actually getting in front of students and like wanting to help them. At that time, I was doing a talk about entrepreneurship. And so like pursuing your big idea. But like I look back now and I'm like, I don't really want to do that anymore. Like moving forward, like actually who I really am is more like talking about spirituality, is making music. So that just interestingly, like that was kind of my journey in 2019, but what you're getting at, absolutely. I think there's always this tug between like our soul call and then obviously our subconscious minds, right? Like I think we feel really compelled towards the things that we really, really, really want to do with our lives. But then there will be this tinge of fear. Or doubt, or we'll stop ourselves when we don't know why. Like, oh, I really want to do this. But then when I'm actually setting, like I can get set up for it. But then when it's time to actually sit down and like make it happen, I feel so blocked or I conveniently have something come up. And it's just the subconscious trying to keep us safe. As far as like God and the universe, I'm definitely have a really great relationship with my faith. And my take on it is that like the universe, God, source is always trying to call us towards our soul call, always, you know. But that means inherently that it's this unfolding journey to return home to ourselves, which means we can't be given everything that we've ever wanted right now. If like our capacity is this small, but our destiny and what like the universe wants to give us is like as big as this room, we have to expand our self-concept and our nervous system to be able to hold that. It's like we can't out manifest our self-image or our beliefs. And so I think, at least looking back at the past like 6 years of my life, it has been this like gentle prodding unfolding where it's like, I feel like I want more. Okay, well now I'm rubbing up against like this trigger of feeling like, well, why would anybody want to listen to my music? Or, oh, I'm really scared to be seen by these millions of people and I'm feeling triggered by that TikTok that went viral or something. And then being like, okay, let me stop. I need to heal whatever's coming up. Where did I get this information? Where did I internalize it? For me, that means let me tap, let me clear it. Let me visualize how I'd rather feel. What's the best way this could go? Let me lean on my faith. And then it's kind of like, okay, now I'm expanding more and more and more. And it's like this beautiful, like unfolding, blooming process that happens.
Hey everyone, pausing this episode to share something with you. In a world of hyper competitiveness, I think the best quote that I can share with you is that there is no one in the world youer than you, and that is truer than true, which is exactly why I wanted to share with you today about Brand Builders Group. It's an organization I've been working with over the last few months. It is absolutely incredible, and today I am sharing with you the opportunity to hop on a free brand call with a brand strategist to help you break through the wall of obscurity. We are in a hyper competitive space at the moment, whether it be on social or with your podcast or with your blog or with your books or getting on stage. No matter what your endeavor is, this is an opportunity for you to hop on a free strategy call with someone from the team to be able to help you navigate the waters of making sure that you are breaking through the wall and taking advantage of all of the opportunities that you most definitely deserve. Again, there is no one in the world youer than you. So no matter what the problem is that you solve, there might be other people that are out there that also solve the same problem, but there is a strategy that can be placed into your initiatives that will help you break through that wall with speed. So I want to share this with you. It is freebrandcall.com/Matt LeBris. That is going to be in the show notes of this episode, whether you're tuned in from audio or through YouTube, whatever it is, freebrandcall.com/Matt LeBris. So take me back to 2019. Like if you were sitting next to that Haley where you identified like, hey, you know, the speaking, it looked good on paper. How would you help her navigate really identifying her next move? Is it because it looks good on paper, or is it because like, hey, this is like truly what you need to do at like your core?
I think I would like, cause for that Haley, I just know that her inner child, my inner child, right? Like she knew what she wanted, right? She knew it. And I think I was trying to choose like a watered down version of it because I was like, oh, no way could I build like a large following doing video work. No way could I pursue being a singer-songwriter. But that's what I really, 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 really wanted. And I think that's where a lot of people get stuck. It's like the thing that they want more than anything feels so impossible to them that they're like, let me settle for a watered down version or something that can like, frankly, appease our egos, which it's not even from like a selfish or egotistical place, but like, can I feel good about myself? You know, and sometimes at first, if we're really disconnected from ourselves, that feels like, can I make sure I'm looking good to other people to feel like justified in kind of living this watered down life? And then at a certain point, you're like, wait, that doesn't actually feed me at all. You know, like fulfillment really comes from those moments when you're in the flow doing the thing that you really, really want to do. And you're like being courageous enough to go out there and go after it, even if you don't get anyone's applause at first.
With the knowledge you have now, what do you feel like your self-doubt stemmed from? Like, was there a particular experience? What I'm sure there's numerous, right? We all have it, but like, is there something in particular that really stood out to you with all the work that you've done? So when I was growing up, I really wanted to, you're catching a theme here, like really wanted to do stuff on camera, acting. I wanted to do music, and I don't know what the heck happened, but most of my like middle school and high school experiences at school, I didn't get like any of the lead roles. I would always get like a callback for like the lead role, and then I wouldn't get it. And then I was auditioning for the choirs in high school, and they were audition choirs. And apparently I like failed the technical piece. But to me, I was like, oh, I'm not good enough. You know, I'm not a good enough singer. I'm not deserving of being on stage. I'm not a star. I'm always going to be almost there, but not quite. And basically because of that, I was like, okay, if I don't have control over that, and I can't like get the thing that I want, basically, let me turn all my attention to being the best student I can be, because that felt like it was more in my control and something I could get validation from. Like it wasn't depending on anybody else picking me and saying like, oh yeah, Haley should be this like lead role, or Haley should get into this choir or get this solo. And so I literally just turned all my focus my senior year of high school onto being the best student I could be. I got like over a 4.0 that last year. And then I started my first 2 years of college at CU Boulder. I worked so hard, and I transferred to Brown University, and then I graduated top of my class. And I'm grateful for that entire experience. I loved college so much, but I was working so hard for the wrong thing technically, because I was like trying to prove that I was the star, but in the wrong area, you know? Because like what I really wanted to do was like music and like TV stuff. But I mean, looking back, I'm like, what a beautiful journey. And I've loved all of it. And I have like so much peace around all of it. I just have so much clarity now on what it really was that I was like going for and the interesting way I was going about it. Yeah. It's interesting because to an extent, there are like overwhelming life experiences, traumas and whatnot that actually do also help us. Right. So like what I'm hearing you say, like you fueled yourself to be like this great student. Yeah. Like, I understand that it's not in the lane that you wanted to like fuel yourself in, but like, it's a really beautiful thing that you succeeded in the way that you did. Thank you. Right? Yeah, I completely agree. I think no one gets it right off the bat. Like we're all growing up. It's all of our first times like living and being human. And I'm grateful for the whole journey. You know, it's definitely been interesting unpacking that over the recent years as I've done a lot of inner work and really decided like, wait, what is it that I really, really want? Yeah. And I see a lot of people like moving into what feels conventional or traditional, or like, oh, but I'm good at this, so I should just stick with this, or this is what I do get validation for, this is what does bring in the money. And it's like, well, wait, you could also do the thing that really sets your heart on fire, even if it is off the beaten path, and you could still make a ton of money and make a huge impact and get validation, right? But a lot of times we're showing up in our adult lives like the wounded inner child. Yeah. Is there a way to do it smart though, right? Like I've definitely made really silly mistakes of like leaving a job to go pursue something that I really wanted to do. And it was like, wait, like, is there a way that you've identified to do it smart, whether that's financially, whether that's mentally and emotionally? Because there's obviously the tolls that come with building something from the ground up, but like, have you identified anything that you would consider smart?
Yeah, I would say it's all belief work. Like going back to when I quit my job at that startup, like I had not done any belief work at that time. And so I had a lot of subconscious beliefs that like I couldn't make it on my own, but I didn't know that. I didn't know I had those beliefs, but it would just so happen that like once I quit my job, I was confronted with those beliefs because we experience what we believe.
Yeah.
And so once I was on my own, I started living out the belief I can't do this on my own. And all the things that had been going well, like literally vanished out of thin air until I started tapping and building in the belief that like, wait, no, I can do this on my own. I can easily make money on my own. I can sustain a business on my own. And the more I built out those neural pathways through visualization, through tapping to clear the old evidence, the more that's exactly what started to happen. So I always advise people like do the subconscious work, like whatever it is. If you're considering quitting your job to go off on your own or something, first like really assess, what are your beliefs around working for yourself or around going after this? Have you given into like the trope of the starving artist? Do you believe that it needs to be really hard at first before you succeed? Like your beliefs aren't right or wrong. It's just that whatever you believe becomes true for you. So it's more like, are my beliefs serving me or are they not? Because our reticular activating systems in our brains are always going to be looking for pattern recognition. So we're literally looking constantly with confirmation bias to affirm what we already believe. And a lot of times our beliefs are on this like subconscious autopilot just running in the background, like copying and pasting throughout our experiences. And we don't realize it until we stop for a second and we're like, wait, what have all my experiences been? What's the pattern? Therefore, what do I believe? Who taught me this? And is there possibly another way? Is there anybody else out there who seems to be living according to a different belief? And what belief would serve me more? Yeah. And then once you have a really rock solid mindset, you're set. Like, honestly, you're set. And I think too, like, obviously when I quit my job, I wasn't like, woo, like going out there with nothing. Like, you know, I had saved up money. I had some freelance gigs, but things like really dried up quickly because like my belief was that I couldn't do it. So it didn't even necessarily matter that I had like been smart about it, technically, like financially, and had made like a savvy strategic decision until my belief shifted.
Yeah. Were you ever in denial of some of the beliefs that were coming up for you? And you're like, wait, like, I don't believe that, but you did actually believe it.
I think it was more so having a lot of blind spots around my beliefs or thinking like, oh no, that's not a belief. That's the truth. Like, oh, of course it's harder to be a solopreneur. Like that's just a truth. It's like, no, it's true because it's true for me because I believe it until I shifted it. And it was also like getting used to sitting with myself long enough to ask myself the hard questions. And a lot of it is like shadow work. Like, what do you not want to admit to yourself? That's a big piece of things, especially because most of the work I do is around like up leveling and manifesting and like bigger dreams. And so it's like, what part of you actually doesn't want this? We're not used to that, right? Because it's like, no, I want this in every part of my being. But then there's a tiny part of us sometimes that's like, wait, it's actually safer to stay in like the comfort of like the 9-to-5 and the paycheck, or stay a little bit smaller and not be seen on such a big level, like whatever it is. So we all have that piece of us.
What do you feel like are the questions that you ask the people that you work with, or even yourself, that are like really hard hitting, or people like shy away from them? Like you just gave me one. And I'm like, oh my God, I don't want to answer that.
So good. It's fine. You know what? You never have to answer it, out loud. You can just journal on it and like ruminate on it. And it's a lot of clarity. In my book, You Have the Magic, I put out the 5 questions, but that first one, that was a really heavy hitter for me when I first heard it, which is kind of in like the faster EFT subconscious breakthrough world that I worked with Tiffany on, was just like, what bad thing happens if the thing you want comes to fruition? And it's such a shocking question because all we've ever been thinking about is what good thing happens if what we want comes to fruition. Yeah. But when it's like, what bad thing? Like when I ask people that question, if it's their first session, they're like, what bad thing? What do you mean? Nothing bad happens. And I'm like, what bad thing happened? And they're like, oh no. Like it's kind of similar to the other question. And it's like, oh, like I'll have more responsibility. There's more pressure. What if it doesn't? It's like, you have to allow yourself, as part of mindset, there's no spiritual bypassing here. Like we have to look at sometimes what we don't want to look at so that we can integrate it, because it's still there, whether we're looking at it or not. Yeah. Like I say with exploring the beliefs and whatever's there, is it's just like getting an x-ray, like to see if you have a broken bone or not. Like it's there either way, but shouldn't you know, so that we can do something about it and like change it and heal it? Because the subconscious will always tell you exactly what it thinks, exactly what it believes. It's just about asking the right questions and then being open enough and compassionate enough to listen and be like, okay, well, it's just information you got from somewhere. Let me approach this information in a neutral way and just like guide myself to what I'd rather believe and tap and clear what's coming up.
Do you feel like everyone is meant to do this quote unquote like healing work in this lifetime? Like, are we meant to all heal in this lifetime? I
think so. I think I don't think everybody necessarily needs to tap or do it my way, but I do think everybody feels a calling in some form to come home to themselves, to experience more peace, to experience more bliss, to experience more fulfillment. And so sometimes it's just about, okay, what's in the way of that? And can I just add in a few practices that can help me literally just enjoy my life more? Yeah. I think I definitely took a fast track because I have like huge dreams. And I think like a lot of people in my Dream Away membership, for example, like we have like really big visions for our lives. And so we're like, let's do this, baby. Like, let's look deep, let's rewire. And like, maybe that's just innate to who I am, or at least this stage of my life, I say, as if it hasn't been the past 6 years. But there's just so much joy and transformation, and like even just being able to look back at it, like even photos of myself last summer, and I see like the look in my eyes is even different. Like my eyes sparkle more now, and there's not as like, it's so, I sound crazy saying this, I'm sure it's energetic, but like my eyes looked like cloudier back then. Like I looked a little, it's
just
like
1 year ago.
Just 1 year ago.
Okay.
It's been a transformational year. And then I look back at 2019, everybody jokes that it's like my distant cousin. They're like, there's no way that's you. I looked completely different. It completely changed me. And it's not just the physical, although that too, like literally my entire face looks different.
Yeah.
But even just the emotional, like I don't feel like I'm walking through my life getting triggered all the time anymore, or feeling sad most mornings anymore, or feeling really discouraged. Like I feel so much better so much of the time. And so many epic things have happened that I always wanted to have happen, but that were so blocked for so long. And so, yeah, to me, it's like, oh my God, what an amazing gift.
Do we have the power to expedite our process in this regard? Like you mentioned like a timeline, and I thought that was really interesting.
Yeah, I would say that just even tapping expedites the timeline, because it's clearing core beliefs. I think the deeper you go, and on some of these things, like I definitely recommend like working with a practitioner if you suspect that you have any trauma at all. But if you go deep and there's like some really core beliefs that have kind of like shaped who you are, and they're attached to some core memories, if you can shift your emotional response to those memories and create a brand new belief, like things change so quickly. Literally so quickly. I always like to tell the story of when I was doing one-on-one coaching with tapping. This was several years ago. I was working with somebody who her house was not selling, and she was getting so frustrated. She's like, what the heck? I'm just trying to sell this house. And we figured out what bad thing happens if it sells. Okay. She had a lot of fear around a large sum of money coming in. So we tapped. While we're tapping, her phone goes off. She's like, oh, sorry, puts it to the side. I'm like, no problem. We finished the session, and she texted me right after the session, and she said, guess who called me during our session? I said, who? She said, it's my realtor. We got an offer, and it was like far over asking price.
Whoa.
Right after we shifted it.
Wow.
Right after we shifted it.
Why does that happen?
It's because we experience what we believe. It's something trippy, but we literally experience what we believe. And if there's a block, we literally cannot call something in. I've even had things where I'm like, what just happened? Like, my singer-songwriter journey, that's like the main thing that I've really been working through in terms of my identity and my worth. And there was a time back in 2023 that I had written a song one night that I thought was literally phenomenal. So I posted it on my Instagram story on my music page. And the next morning when I checked to see if like anybody thought it was good, frankly, there was like 2 messages. And so I'm like, oh my God, do I have like no perception of like legitimate perception of if I can write a good song? So I tapped on it with a practitioner. It was a lot coming up for me around feeling like overlooked, etc. So then I opened my phone again to go like read the 2 messages I did get. I'm like, I'm going to savor these. All of a sudden, my inbox suddenly populated with all of these messages that I'd gotten through the night before, but I literally had not seen them. Wow. Like literally 20 messages, including somebody saying, can you finish the song because I want it to be the song at my wedding, my first dance song.
Whoa.
And they were not there. I'm telling you, those messages were not there. I was looking, and I don't know, I can't really explain that. I mean, the science of it is that we literally only see like 0.00001% of everything that's around us at any given time, because that's how our brain like filters through information. And so we can only see, like, we're always looking to confirm what we already believe. So when we shift the belief, like, things can happen really quickly. But I don't know. I think that part's like pretty magical.
I feel like I'm getting a masterclass right here. This is awesome, seriously, because I mean, I guess what's coming up for me now is more so around the topic of beliefs. Like, what happens if someone is going through those deep dives and you know, they're being prompted with these questions to answer, but they're like lying, right? Like, it's so much easier for us to lie to ourselves.
Yeah.
How do you get someone around that?
I honestly, sorry if this is a bad answer, but I don't really feel like I've had anybody lie. Because I also feel like when people are doing this work, there's like nowhere to run or hide, right? Like, if you want to change, you want to look at it. And I think part of it too is like knowing, maybe even when you start tapping, like doing it on something small so that, you know, whatever comes up, you're going to be able to shift it and change it. Because sometimes there's some fear of like, oh my gosh, if I like hit at a huge wound, what am I going to do with it then?
Yeah.
I remember a lot of times, like before I started tapping, I would always be afraid of my emotions, you know, like if I uncover something, if I see something I don't want to see, what am I going to be able to do with it? You know? But now it's like, oh, you can just tap.
Yeah.
So it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What emotions were you scared of? Was it like anxiety?
Anxiety for sure. A lot of like anxiety or like feelings of like deep grief. I don't know. And I almost felt past life oriented. Like, it almost felt like for a while there was like a deep, dark sadness that I was running from, and I didn't know where it came from. It was so odd, but it felt like, oh no, if I'm in it too long, maybe I'm going to slip into it. And like, again, I was working one-on-one with a practitioner. I just want to continue to put out that disclaimer for everybody listening, since this is like mental health focused, but I still honestly don't really know where it came from. It could be like generational trauma or something. I don't know. But now I'm like, I can look through every corner of my subconscious and I feel amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you believe, because you've referenced it a few times, do you believe that your soul has been here for numerous different lifetimes?
Yeah, I definitely think so. I don't know much more than that.
Yeah.
I think there's some things that feel very past life-esque. Like when I hear like smooth jazz, it feels very, I don't know, there's something there.
A connection.
And
That's
then
interesting.
I can't stand music from the 80s.
Why is
I don't know. Literally.
That?
When I hear it, I have a bad feeling.
Okay. Well, I'm
and
glad
I think
we
that's
didn't
past
have that
life.
on.
I know. I'd be like, we need to change this right now. It's so odd. Like, it has nothing to do with, you know, literally that entire decade. If a song's from the 80s, I can always tell, and it gives me like a weird feeling.
That's interesting.
Isn't that crazy? That's my only evidence. Sorry. That's my only evidence for potential past lives. I had a bad life from the 80s, I guess. That's
so interesting. So in 2020, the year that everyone was just like up in a frenzy, have you ever heard of Sonia Choquette?
Mm-mm.
Okay. I'm going to send you a bunch of things.
Okay, I can't wait.
Sonia Choquette, she does what's called like a soul reading.
Oh, cool.
I'll be fully transparent. I heard about it from a coworker. I used to work with one of the sharks from Shark Tank, and we were out at our Christmas party, and we were both drinking. We were on or in a cab, full transparency, going to a strip club. And as we're there or going, he's telling me about this thing that his dad did. And I'm like, dude, like, I do not want to be hearing this right now. It's like all this woo-woo stuff about how his dad had his soul read. Long story short, I was like, you know what? I got to a point in 2020. I'm like, I'm going to do it. It's rather pricey, but I will tell you, the 30 minutes that I spent on that call, this woman knew everything about who I am.
Oh,
she knew past life. She knew kind of like where my soul is like calling me to go now. It was wild.
Okay. Sign me up.
It was really like, it's almost like a relief to an extent, because I always had this thing that I grew up Catholic, right? I always had this thing where I felt a nudge to like be a priest, quote unquote. Now, I talked about it with a therapist and with a coach and all of these things. And I got to a point where I realized that a priest doesn't have to be defined by like being the person up at an altar and like delivering a mass, but like, what's the actual definition of a priest? And it's kind of like being a podcast host, being a teacher, being a speaker. And I made peace with that. And then when I had that call with that woman, Sonia, and she was telling me about past life, she continued to emphasize how in past lives I was a teacher. Wow. And I was like, whoa. So it's a really, really
That's
cool
so
experience.
Cool. Okay, I'm so doing it.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Wait.
It is really, really cool. But I wanted to ask because I was just curious. Like you mentioned it a few times, and I'm always curious to know what people believe.
I mean, I believe in all of it. I'm very open-minded. Yeah, so I can't wait to get my.
How did you grow up? Like, what was your spiritual background growing up? If you don't mind me asking.
It was definitely more on the spiritual side.
Yeah.
My parents are also like super open-minded.
That's cool.
And yeah, we connect on all of this stuff. It was actually my mom that got me into tapping. She's the one who got me a session with Tiffany to start. So
that's super cool. That's super, super cool. I love that. As for the book, you have the magic. We have it up there for everyone to see. When it comes to someone having, or everyone has the magic, is that accurate?
Of course.
So my question then becomes, if there is an individual who just feels like their life hasn't amounted to what they want, or, they're in this dark season and they don't feel like they can transcend it or get out of it, like what would you say to them to remind them that they actually do have the magic and the ability to transform their life?
Oh, well, I would want to give them a hug. And a coffee.
A coffee too.
Personally, that's what I want. Whatever warm beverage they'd like, something comforting.
Yeah.
And just to remind them that like everything that's happened in their life, like isn't their fault. I don't know why that's coming through. It's like when we get into these dark places, it's like, how did I end up here? Like, why am I so stuck? And it's like, listen, my love, your brain has just been doing the very best it could. Your subconscious has been taking on information and it's been trying to figure it out. And the really cool thing about it is that if there's something that you really want, something that you're really called to, or you just feel like there has to be more out there, I have to somewhat believe in magic, even though I don't really know what magic means, but like I do believe in manifestation or faith or anything, like follow that little nudge. And even just starting with tapping on just general feelings of like sadness and the blah, or feeling blocked or stuck, like you would be amazed how quickly things can shift. You would be amazed. Like literally, like I share all of the research in my book and the studies are like really amazing. But even after a 60-minute tapping session, anxiety can go down by over 40%. And it sticks. It's emotional freedom technique. I always joke like it's not emotional boomerang technique. So it doesn't come back later. At least not in the same way it did. Yeah. Like you can literally completely shift it. And so like there's hope, like there's a light at the end of the tunnel, and there's resources that can help you, and people who haven't even met you yet who are going to love you so much and want to help you with like any resource that speaks to you. But it's like it's a very gentle process. Like especially with tapping, when we talk about like subconscious beliefs and what bad thing happens, it's like, whoa, okay, I'm going on like a full awakening journey. Sometimes it's like, let's just get back to a good baseline. Let's just do some happy tapping. Let's clear like some of the things that are making me feel sad right now. Like, let's just kind of root back into whatever feels good at this moment. And then from there, know that whatever it is that you want, we can shift beliefs and get there. Yeah.
How would you define the magic that we have, right? Like as you're sharing that, I'm like, what does magic actually mean?
So the twist in the book is that you have the magic basically means like you have the tools within you to change your life because of the subconscious mind. Like your subconscious mind is determining basically everything that's happening in your life. It's like a projector screen out into your experience, reflecting your beliefs back to you. So you have a magic wand. Like you can literally change your beliefs, change your life. Yeah. Sounds so simple, but I am telling you, like I'm obsessed with this because this is how my entire life has changed, and how like thousands of the people who've worked with me even just in Dreamaway, like the replays, the tapping replays that we do, or the live sessions, like people's lives are rapidly changing, feeling better than ever. And it's, I did not seek out to do a career in this work. Like literally I sought out to do work on camera and be a singer-songwriter, which I'm also doing, which is happening right now, but tapping changed my life so drastically. And everybody was like, what happened? Like I went through the craziest up level of all time in 2020 when I started taking tapping really seriously, literally moved to New York City, finally started making enough money to be able to afford like my dream at that time, like cute little studio apartment. Now in my actual dream apartment, I wanted again to create content online, and I was making honestly incredible content for like no viewers. And then that year in 2020 in June, I hit 10,000 followers on TikTok. By September, 100,000. By November, 250,000. Wow. And it just kept going. And every single time the shift came after I tapped. So I was like, whoa, like I feel like all my life I felt that there was something out there, like something I must be missing. And I thought like maybe it's manifestation. And now I'm like, well, manifestation is just beliefs.
Yeah.
If you believe something is going to work for you, if you believe you can manifest something, then of course it's going to manifest if you believe it enough. But let's actually like work with the core beliefs and like clear what's keeping the old belief in the way. Yeah.
If you were to, so subtitle, right? Harness the power of your mind to transform your reality. Like if you were to give us a step-by-step 1 through 3 of like what someone could do right this second to start to transform, what are those 3 things?
Okay. Number 1, ask yourself some subconscious breakthrough questions. So very, very simple, easy one is just, what bad thing happens if this shifts? What bad thing happens if all of a sudden tomorrow, the biggest manifestation that you've had on your list forever just comes through, just like that? Is there any resistance to it? Or do you feel like it's a mismatch for your identity? How does this not fit in with the story that you have of yourself and what's supposed to happen? Does it feel like it's not supposed to be that easy? Just some ideas. Maybe they all resonate. Number 2, tap, baby. You got to tap. Yeah. You can use a Taste of Dream Away, which is a free 48-hour trial of Dream Away. So you can actually try out tapping with me. There's a session in there called It's Allowed to Be Fun, which is so good for clearing like dread and blah and all that stuff. And then another session called Money Magnet, which is literally about like clearing that feeling of like chasing and scarcity and money. And then there's a law of assumption visualization in there. So try that. Feel the shifts. If you love the shifts, keep tapping because you learn a lot about tapping from my book, From a Taste of Dream Away. And then step 3 is visualize as much as you can. Every single day, do at least a 5-minute visualization and just imagine living out your dream future because it's literally building out neural pathways. Yeah. As Joe Dispenza says, our brains can't tell the difference between a real and an imagined experience. So the more you visualize something, the more it actually creates evidence in your brain, even though it's just visualization. And you'll have so many cool moments in the future where you experience exactly what you visualized and you're like, whoa, this really works.
I love that. So, hey, everyone, we are going to make sure that all of the links are in the show notes of this episode just to make it easy, right? So membership stuff, all of that will be in the show notes for us. Do you have like a freebie for those questions that people could be asking?
Well, the questions that I'll ask in A Taste of Dream Away when you do those sessions are there. Okay. And then, cool. Obviously my book has the 5 questions, but I basically just gave you the bulk of them. / on my podcast, Big Conversations, I have a lot of different podcast episodes that like get around those questions. There's even one called like Subconscious Breakthrough Formula DIY from 2021. And then there's one from last year called The Juiciest Self Questions for a Breakthrough.
Perfect. Hey, so when someone picks up You Have the Magic, they read it from front to back, they do all the highlighting, they take all the notes. If they could only take one thing away from the book though, what do you want that one thing to be?
Your life is a reflection of your beliefs and you can change them through tapping.
You had that like that. You're media prepped. You are media prepped.
It's not, it's just what I talk about every day of my life.
Yeah.
And it's the truth. Like it's literally the truth. And that's the other thing too. Like I'm not like, obviously I have Dreamway and I have a book, but like if listeners like never, ever, ever want to read my book or do Dreamway, still take my advice, you know, like what I'm selling, you don't ever have to buy it. Ever, but do exactly what I said because there's other resources out there. There's amazing tapping practitioners. There's amazing tapping programs. Like this is just actually legitimately the truth and what's completely changed my life. Like if I could get a billboard anywhere in the world and just like plaster something on it, it would be exactly what I just said.
Yeah. Curious. You mentioned this is what you talk about every day of your life. Is there something else that you wish you talked about every day of your life?
Well, I would say music, but that's more like singing.
What about music? Do you want to sing for us?
I sing a cappella. Yeah, so I love to sing too and write songs. So I feel like that's almost, I always say like I geek out on subconscious mind and like spirituality, but like my heart really loves writing songs and singing. Yeah. So yeah.
Do you have music coming out? Like what's the deal?
I'm recording a song called Brave on July 17th that my audience definitely knows. A single.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. Should we be on the lookout for it? Like
you should be on the lookout. I don't know when it's going to come out, but I'm just happy to be recording it.
Okay. Yeah. Give us some context behind Brave. Like what's it about? So I mean, beside the obvious, I could make an assumption.
Oh, it's probably actually not what you think then, because it's a little different. But I think the name is sweet because it obviously points to something that I talk about. But one of my best friends went through a really intense breakup last year. And yeah, I was just spending a lot of time with her, like helping her heal. And literally one day this entire song came to me, and the entire concept is like moving on from somebody who you always went back to, basically, and how hard it is to be brave, even though you know you're supposed to move on. It's a very like universal concept.
Absolutely.
And it literally poured out of me in like 20 minutes completely. I like literally, it's like, I don't even think I wrote it. I think it came through me. And then I like ran into my microphone in my MacBook in my little home studio. It's basically just my office, and my home studio. And I recorded it in like 30 minutes.
Wow.
And I sent it to her. She cried. I sent it to my dad, and he was like, I think that's your hit song. And yeah, a few months ago, it went viral several times on TikTok. So
Whoa.
thank goodness.
Oh, so it's out already.
The demo. The thing I recorded in the hour I wrote it. Just my voice on the piano.
That's super cool.
I've shared
I love
several
that.
times.
I love that. I'm going to have to go back and listen to that.
Yeah.
Hey, you know, as you were just sharing that, you know, like you were working with your friend and just like helping her get through this, do you ever, like, what do you personally do as someone that is working with so many people to overcome their own stuff? Like, how do you not take that on yourself?
Well, I think honestly, because tapping's involved, like we're all just releasing it.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like when she's talking to me about things, I'm obviously like helping her through it.
Yeah.
But then she's going and she's tapping, and then I'm tapping.
Yeah.
So then we all just feel better.
So there's a release. Yeah. No,
there's
I get
just
that.
a release. So I don't really feel like I carry that much. I think, yeah, I've definitely had to, because I am technically a coach, and I also have a hard time not, when I'm in a conversation with someone, thinking like, well, where did that belief come from? And like, what is this reflecting?
Yeah.
Like, is there a childhood pattern here? Like,
yeah.
My mind's always there. And so I think I've done a good job, honestly, in the past few years, having more of a, not like turning a dinner into a coaching call. You know what I mean?
That's
Even
a
though,
good
like,
balance. Yeah.
It's definitely a balance, because it's genuinely my curiosity, but I'm like, Haley, let's just keep it light.
Yeah. Yeah. I definitely get that. I was just curious because like a lot of people, like like you just said, could be a dinner turned into a conversation like that, right? But when you're someone that just helps, like you're a helper, you're a healer, right? You're someone that is doing this for other people. It's so easy for us at times to kind of like take on that sticky stuff. But it makes sense what you're saying. Like you're releasing it at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. And I feel like really grateful too that all my friends are like, we're all just kind of on the same page, and all my friends like religiously use Dream Away. And so it's more like, Haley, what session should I tap with tonight based off this?
Yeah.
And then they tap and then they feel better. And I'm like, this is amazing. So it's like, I am technically still helping them heal, but like a recording of me.
A recording. Yeah, for sure. That's helpful.
Yeah.
That's helpful. Well, hey, you have the magic is in the show notes as well as everything else that we've discussed, but I have a few more questions for you.
Okay.
The first one being, what is a question you wish more people would ask you, and how would you answer it?
That's such a good question. You've stumped me.
I didn't mean to stump you. Like,
Well,
it's not
that's
the
good. Let's
intention by any means, but like, yeah, I'm just curious. Whenever I have someone on the show, this is kind of my way of just saying like, hey, if there's something you want to talk about, what didn't we talk about? Right? Because I'm probably asking you a lot of questions that you've already been asked just naturally.
You're an amazing question asker, though, I will say.
Thank you.
This felt, fresh and new. I genuinely don't know. My mind is completely blank.
That's totally cool too.
I feel like we talked about all the things I love today.
That's totally cool too. Yeah, it's never like an intention, oh my God, I want to stump my guest.
No,
it's just like, hey,
that's
like,
great.
Yeah. Like, well, what's the thing that you want to talk about, right? So that's fine.
Okay.
Next one. I got another one for you anyway.
Okay.
If you live to whatever year you want to make it to, you help as many people as you want, you release as many songs, their hits, books, all of the things. But when you make it to the end, which we're all going to make it to one day, you could only be remembered for one piece of advice. What is the advice you want to be remembered for?
Oh God. Okay. Well, not to just regurgitate what I said earlier, but
I was going to put an asterisk next to it and be like, hey, you can't give us the advice you just gave us.
No. Oh God. Okay. So a different piece of advice than
unless it's the same. Give me a good
analyze your
reasoning as to
subconscious
why.
beliefs and tap. I think it would just be in general, like if you feel called to something, if you have a big dream, especially if it feels impossible, it's literally just subconscious blocks and you can clear it. Like whatever you desire, whatever you dream, whatever like set your heart on fire, whatever little you really wanted, it's not just that you can make it happen for yourself. Like you're supposed to. Like I literally think we're all kind of like on our hero's journey. and it's just like coming home to yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. What did little you want? Was it
music?
Music. Yeah. 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 You were telling us the stories about like choir and play and all of that stuff. Okay. Yeah. Little me wanted to be a train conductor. So I don't know.
Wow. Well, why?
I don't know. Like, as you were just saying that, I literally thought to myself, I was like, well, what did little Matt want? I wanted to be a train. I thought trains were the coolest thing. Like, Pennsylvania had like a whole bunch of like train things. I love Thomas the Tank Engine, whatever. Like, so people could judge me. But like, I don't want to be a train conductor now. So I was trying to, as you were sharing that, I'm like, well, what more about it? Is it that you want to like lead people, guide people, right? I mean, a train conductor's kind of doing that, right?
Yeah. I'll say too, I would like line up my stuffed animals in my room and like talk to them like I was their teacher, which is very similar to what I do now. We literally have a photo. We could insert it in
Did you
here,
play
like,
teacher growing up?
Like, yeah, I had a chalkboard. I don't know what I was teaching. Literally, I don't remember that. And then I'd be like, all right, time for the music video. And I'd get out my little karaoke.
I love conversations like this because like, I feel like as adults, we don't share these things enough, but like, I've played teacher, I've played music producer, like getting home after school and like putting on, I went from NSYNC to 50 Cent in a year, which is why I have 50 Cent. So I appreciate that so much when people share like the things that they used to do as a kid and how it could potentially correlate to adulthood. I think it's so awesome.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Haley, first and foremost, thank you so much for this. Really appreciate it. This was awesome. For everyone listening, again, You Have the Magic is in the show notes of this episode, as well as everything else that we've discussed, from socials to programs, memberships, all of the good things. Haley, thank you.
Thank you. This was so fun.